Today, I want to talk about the titles we spend our entire lives chasing. Not because titles are dangerous, but because somewhere along the way, many of us forgot they were never supposed to become our identity. Welcome back to the Eminence Legacy podcast. I'm Jose Luis Cadena. For the last 7 episodes, we've been exposing the things that quietly compete for your sovereignty. The world, the algorithm, your own thoughts, your tolerance, the voices you have unknowingly elected to govern your life. But today, I want to expose something even more personal. Not because it's louder, but because it's harder to recognize. I don't believe the greatest identity crisis in our generation is that people don't know what they want. I actually think they know exactly what they want. More success, more money, more influence, more recognition, a better title, a better position, a bigger platform. A real crisis is that we have confused what we do with who we are. And those are not the same thing. Titles are gifts. They are responsibilities. They are assignments. But somewhere along the way, many of us stopped carrying the title and started letting the title carry us. That's dangerous because every assignment has an expiration date. Every position eventually changes. Every office eventually belongs to someone else. Every business eventually changes hands. Every athlete plays their last game. Every leader leads their last meeting. Every parent eventually watches their children build lives of their own. Life has a way of removing the very thing you thought that made you, you. And if your identity was built on something temporary, then every transition feels like a funeral. Today, I don't want to talk about the title you carry. I want to talk about the person carrying the title. Because sovereignty was never about protecting a position. It was always about protecting the person God entrusted with it. There's a question that almost every one of us has been asking thousands of times. So, what do you do? Seems harmless, doesn't it? It's how conversations begin. It's how introductions happen. It's how networking works. Nothing wrong with the question. The problem is what happens next. Without realizing it, we start answering a completely different question. Not what do we do, but who are you? I'm a manager. I'm a business owner. I'm a police officer. I'm a teacher. I'm a coach. Those aren't identities. Those are assignments. Somewhere, our assignment became our introduction. Then our introduction became our identity. And that's where sovereignty quietly begins to erode. Because the moment your identity depends on something temporary, your peace becomes temporary too. Your confidence becomes temporary. Your worth becomes temporary. Why? Because everything you are using to define yourself can be taken away. The promotion, the office, the jersey, the company, the title. None of those belong to you forever. So let me ask you again, who are you? Without the answer to the question, what do you do? Here is Sir Chain Law number 6. Never allow an assignment to answer a question only your character can answer. Because one day, life will take away everything that introduced you. The only thing left standing will be the person you became while carrying it. Let me ask you something. When you wanted the promotion, what were you really chasing? Was it the position or the feeling you thought the position would finally give you? When you wanted more money, what were you really chasing? Security? Respect? Approval? Accomplishments? When you wanted more followers, were you chasing influence or significance? Because I've noticed something. Very few people actually chase titles. They chase what they believe the title will finally prove. I'm enough. I matter. I made it. I'm valuable. And that's where sovereignty quietly dies. Because the moment you need something outside of you to tell you who you are, you have handed that thing authority over your life. Now listen carefully. There's nothing wrong with becoming successful, building a business, leading a company, or making more money. The problem begins when success stops being something you steward and becomes something you need in order to feel complete. Because the moment success becomes your oxygen, you will do almost anything to keep breathing. Let that soak in. The moment success becomes your oxygen, you will do almost anything to keep breathing. That's the psychology twist. Now you understand why leaders compromise, why executives cheat, why athletes break the rules, why influencers fake perfection. They are no longer protecting the assignment. They are protecting their source of worth. Here is certain law number 7. The moment you need your title to prove your worth, your title becomes your master. Now I want to ask you a question, and I don't want you to answer it too quickly because your first answer probably isn't the honest one. Why do you really want the title? Not the answer you have practiced, the real one. Why do you want to become the CEO, own the business, get more followers, money, or influence? Keep asking it because every answer has another answer underneath it. I want to prove it. Why? I want security. Why? I want respect. Why? I want people to believe in me. Why? I want to finally feel like I'm enough. That's the wound. Very few people are chasing the title. They are chasing what they hope the title will finally say about them. The dangerous part, the title never says it, not permanently. If your identity depends on arriving, you will spend your entire life afraid of stopping. Let me confess something to you. There was a season in my life where I chased the next achievement, not just because I wanted to accomplish something or be validated, but because I wanted to feel re-elevated. I honestly believed that if I could just reach the next milestone, close one more deal, hit one more goal, maybe this time the voices that question me from within will finally become quiet. They didn't. Achievements make terrible therapists.
because no accomplishment can heal what only truth can heal. See, I wasn't chasing another title. I was chasing silence. I thought success would finally quiet the voices that question my worth. It didn't, because success can change your circumstances, but it cannot answer a question that only identity was designed to answer. Here is Sir Chain Law number 8. The achievement you have been chasing cannot answer the question you have been avoiding. Work can produce income. Work can build influence. Work can create opportunity and leave a legacy. But work was never designed to tell you that you are valuable. That's too much weight for any assignment to carry. Eventually, it breaks. The title may change. How the world sees you. It should never change how you see yourself. Now stop lying. You keep telling yourself you're chasing excellence. Maybe. But what if you are actually chasing permission to finally believe you are enough? Those aren't the same thing, because excellence builds, validation begs. But let me tell you something else. Not everybody hides behind impressive titles. Some people hide behind painful ones. I'm a failure. I'm the one who always quits. I'm just average. I'm an addict. The divorced one. The angry one. I'm damaged. I'm broken. The one who never gets picked. Listen to me carefully and listen to me now. Those are titles too. The only difference is nobody printed them on a business card. You accepted them. And every time you introduce yourself by your worst season, your deepest wound, or your biggest mistake, you hand yesterday authority over today. A failure is something you experience. It is not someone you become. Stop allowing your worst day to introduce you to the rest of your life. And if you need success to convince yourself that you are valuable, then success isn't serving you. It's owning you. Be honest. How much of your ambition is purpose, and how much of it is pain wearing a suit? Because the moment something temporary gets to decide your worth, your peace becomes temporary too. And sovereign people don't surrender authority to temporary things. There is a divine order that we keep reversing. Look at history. David was chosen in a field long before he was ever crowned in a palace. Joseph was given a vision long before he ever governed Egypt. Moses was called at the burning bush long before he ever stood before Pharaoh. Even Jesus, before he ever performed a miracle, before he ever preached a sermon, before crowds ever applauded, stood in the water and heard these words: "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Notice the order. Identity came before assignment. Sonship came before service. Being came before doing. Heaven establishes your identity before it ever entrusted you with responsibility. The world reverses it. The world says perform, produce, earn your way up. Build a platform, and then we will tell you who you are. God says, I already know who you are. Now go fulfill the assignment. Here is Sir Chain Law number 9. Your assignment should flow from your identity, never become the source of it. Now stop for a second. Don't think about your title. Don't think about your company. Don't think about your business. Don't think about your resume or your platform. Right now, answer this question. Who are you when nobody needs anything from you? If that silence makes you uncomfortable, don't run from it. That discomfort is telling you where your identity has been hiding. Audit your identity right now. Ask yourself, if everything I have became everything I had, would I still know who I am? If every title disappeared, would my character remain? If nobody applauded, would I still pursue excellence? If no one introduced me, would I still recognize myself? Legacy builders, look at the title or milestone you are working so hard to reach and ask yourself, why? Not what will it pay? Not what door will it open? Ask, what am I hoping it finally says about me? Because if the answer is, it will finally prove I'm enough, then stop. You have given a temporary assignment, a responsibility it can never fulfill. Let's lock this in. Never ask temporary assignment. Never ask a temporary assignment to answer an eternal question. Your job can provide for you. It cannot define you. Your title can describe your responsibility. It cannot establish your worth. Because the greatest title you will ever carry isn't the one the world gives you. It's the one you refuse to surrender. If today's conversation challenged you, don't keep it to yourself. Send this episode to one person. No long explanation. Just say, listen. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit follow right now. Legacy builders do not just visit truth, they stay connected to it. Every Tuesday, we continue building the Sovereignty series. And every Thursday, join me for Fire and Ice, where we put relationships under pressure. And if you are ready to build alongside men and women who refuse to surrender their standards, visit eminencelegacy.com and try the free trial for our community, Ground Zero. Apply today at eminencelegacylive.com. One day, someone else will sit behind your desk. Someone else will answer your phone. Someone else will lead your team. Someone else will wear the title you worked so hard to earn. See, assignments change. Seasons change. Leadership changes. But there's one thing no one can inherit: the person you became while carrying the assignment. So don't spend your life protecting a title. Protect your character. Protect your integrity. Protect your convictions. Because when the assignment ends, those are the only things that walk out of the room with you. Jose Luis Cadena. This is the Eminence Legacy Podcast. And together, let's rise to your eminence. The world will spend your entire life asking, what do you do? Maybe it's time you started answering a different question. Not what have I achieved? Not what title have I earned? Not how much have I accumulated? But who am I when all of it is gone? Because one day it will be. Wake up, don't sleep.